Y'all don't hear us. Pull up a seat and motherfucking listen. Pull up a seat and motherfucking listen.
Pack your bag, time to go home.
Talking crazy on our soil where our blood and bones grown.
This our grind, we outside on it. While y'all fools on the outside looking, y'all show no respect to Black America, so leave. Hey.
Y'all don't get it, so it's time to go home.
Get the hell up out of America, take your disrespect and just fly on.
Y'all don't get it, so it's time to go home.
Get the hell up out of America, take your disrespect and just fly on.
You landed on the tarmac, fresh off the boat. Talking about y'all building nothing, man, you choking on the note. My ancestors the reason that this country even breathes. Picked the cotton, built the White House, planted the seed. Jim Crow laws, redlined the map, we was the target. You think that struggle's a costume, man, you can't mark it. We fought the wars, we bled the blood, we died for our future's chance. And you come here and give our legacy a side eye while throwing shade on the guard. While you benefit from doors we kick down with our last breath. Now you spit on the architects who stared down death. Disrespectful, that's disrespectful, ungrateful, a slap in the face to only people who gave a fuck. So let me show your ungrateful ass to the right place.
Pack your bags, time to go home.
Talking crazy on our soil where our blood and bones grown.
This our grind and we outside on it. While y'all fools on the outside looking, y'all show no respect to Black America, so leave.
Y'all don't get it, so it's time to go home.
Get the hell up out of America, take your disrespect, just fly on.
Y'all don't get it, so it's time to go home.
Get the hell up out of America, take your disrespect, just fly on.
Passport, the visa, the privilege to be here. Cause my grandma did march for y'all, so disappear from our land. You cosplaying our pain. Think it's a trend you can borrow, but you ain't inherit the ghosts of our sorrow. We the foundation, the bedrock, the soil, and the root. You not no branch on our tree, and unproductive people always cosplaying me.
Talking about we ain't do nothing, you lost your mind. We built this from nothing, time after time.
From the beginning to now, we been the backbone and muscle. Why you look down on the struggle and cause a whole tussle? The energy sky was disgusting, it's whack. So let's make it clear, there's no turning back.
This land is paid for in full.
In blood, sweat, and tears, and dreams deferred.
You don't get to come into a house we built from the dirt and telling Black America y'all ain't worth nothing. That's a violation, facts.
Pack your bags, time to go home.
It's our soil on our soil where our blood and bones grown.
Show respect, this our ground, y'all just tenants on a leash.
Get the step.
Show no respect to Black America, so leave.
Don't get it, so it's time to go home.
Get the hell up out of America, taking your business, I can just fly on.
Don't get it, so it's time to go home.
Get the hell up out of America, taking your business, I can just fly on.
Yeah, fly little birdies.
Fly on back to where you came from.
This ain't for you. The soil is sacred.
We said what we said.
It's time
For y'all to go home. So fly a little birdies fly. So fly a little birdies fly. So fly a little birdies fly. Fly far, far away from here. So fly a little birdies fly. So fly a little birdies fly. So fly a little birdies fly. Fly far, far away from here. So fly a little birdies fly. So fly a little birdies fly. So fly a little birdies fly. Fly far, far away from here. So fly a little birdies fly. So fly a little birdies fly. So fly a little birdies fly. Fly far, far away from here. Bye bye, little birds.
They thought we forgot, but we never forget.
We built this land from dust and tears for 100 years, and we still here. They write new rules, but they don't see every freedom they got came off you and me. We planted seeds, they took the bloom. We lit the flame, they left the room. But we back now, no disguise. The spirit's woke, we realize all we want is what we earn. That sweat and blood, yeah, that table turn. You can't buy culture, can't fake that fight. This is our day, this is our right. We LBA. Say it loud, say it strong. We the heartbeat that's been there all along. Foundation of Black Americans, stand tall. We ain't begging for nothing, we built that all. Born from pain and grace, you can see the truth written in our face. We the soul, the sound, the fight, the flame. Foundational Black Americans, say our name. They love our rhythm, but they dodge our blues. Use our voice when it fits their news. They take our sound, but not our scars. We the backbone, we the stars. Now the veil is gone, the mask is clear. We see the game, we know what's here. No more silence, no more lies. We lift that flag and watch it rise. Rise up. We the ones that made this nation breathe. Our brains are power. Our roots are trees. We know worlds. It's rhythm and grace shows, and now we're reclaiming our rightful place. Can't copy courage, can't steal pain. You can't inherit soul by changing names. Our story ain't done, it's the revival. We guard the gate, it's about survival. We FBA, say it proud, say it loud. The world dances on what we vow. Foundational Black Americans, still we stand, still we fight, still we demand. Every block, every song, we've been right here all along. The soul of a people strong and free. Foundational Black Americans. We the first, we the root, we the fire. Still rising, still here. Foundational Black American.
We set the tone and they copy the cadence. Dance to our drums and deny the foundation. Wear the style but don't honor the source. Smile in the crowd and you distance and force. Say you not us but you rap like we breathe. Take the rhythm, then fuse the receipts. I ain't mad, I'm just holding the glass. Showing the mirror, now answer it back. I ain't here to cancel nobody. Just keep it honest, keep it solid. If you eat from the table we built, don't act surprised when we guard it. Do you like that? Do you like that? When I flip your sound and I ride like that. Do you like that? Do you like that? Do you like that? Cause that's how it feel when you borrow my culture. Then act like we never matter. Hip-hop.
Mike Larry. Now this shit here, it's what I see it is. We're not fighting your battles. We're not carrying your fear. We're not lending our history to people who erased us while we were here. Just cause you're born here, don't make you FBA. That makes you a citizen, learn the difference today. This is lineage, not a look you can wear, not a costume you borrow when it benefits you there. You used our culture like an access card, backstage pass, a straight facade, but now the mirror's in your face. No disguise, and you're uncomfortable looking truth in the eyes. We didn't leave our land to beg for a chance. We stayed, we fought, we took every advance. That's the separation, that's the line you cross. We paid the price, you learned the cost. You waving your flag on our soil, but fighting not to go back home. Waving your flag on our soil, building comfort on a foundation you didn't own. We waving our flag, red, black, and gold. Stood our ground, never sold. You waving your flag on our soil, but scared to build what you claim you love. Our humor, our style, the way we move, the smoothness, the sound, the things we prove. Music we birth, language we shape, innovation forged under constant escape. Warrior spirit means stay and defend, not flee your land and rewrite the end. You call it success, but don't confuse the two. Ease came after what we went through. You abandoned your land and called it strategy. You waved that flag loud, but won't return to build your legacy. That contradiction tells the story for you. You waving your flag on our soil, or fighting not to go back home. We waving ours where we were forged, every inch earned, every brick known. We can't be deported, and that truth changes everything. We can't be deported, and that truth changes everything. We know who we are, and now we see who you are too. Just because y'all born here doesn't make you FBA at all. It makes you an American citizen. It's biologically impossible to be us, because it's a lineage, not some damn costume you can just put on to look cool. You immigrants and immigrant Americans has used our culture as an access card, a backstage pass to our culture. Now y'all have to look in the mirror. Our sense of humor, the aesthetics, mannerisms, the style of dress, the smoothness, the creativity, our genres of music, innovativeness, our slang, our warrior spirit by staying on our homeland and fighting and not fleeing to somebody else's land to beg for a better life and shit on the very people who fought to have us there. That's who we are. And we know who the hell y'all are waving your flag on our soil and fighting to make sure y'all don't go back.
You can't leech off our culture anymore. Beat it!
Mike Larry, man, you did it again. We really making history. Let's go.
Do you like that? Do you like that?
Flip your sound, how you like that? Do you like that? Do you like that? Say it loud, don't walk it back. Do you like that?
Do you like that?
You grew up mimicking us, now y'all switch it up. Turn the carbon copy, y'all ain't black, what the fuck? It's funny y'all connecting to our culture like it's Wi-Fi. Surfing on our waves of our culture, no more agua. Still in my culture for all these years. Look how time flies, all these colonizers in the skies. Hate y'all still, hate us outside. Study doctor, vampires, suck the blood of our guilt. They copy the flavor, sip the juice. Love the results, hate the truth. Who? Do you like that? Flip your sound, how you like that? Do you like that? Democratic shields, talking points, the road they fill. Fish and chips, agent on the mic, judging FBA, but ain't you half white? Talking like you one of us, we need a poo face. The agent type with a prune face, like 50 and Jim, it's a cold game. Throwing stones cause we build our own lane. I'm joking, kinda, but I mean, smile calm, pressure intact. Y'all proud where y'all from. Where they flag, beat they drum. But when it's us, tone switch fast. Same pride, but it's too much. FBA pride, lineage solid. You can't put this on, can't try it on. Built here, stayed and fought. That's the difference. That's the card. Do you like that? Do you like that? Say it clear, don't twist the facts. Do you like that? Yeah. Do you like that? Do you like that? Point made. Point made. No edit. No edit. No care. No care.
You know, erasing history is something that you have to do when it comes to conquest, domination, and destroying a people. If people knew who they were, and what they were capable of in the past, they will understand what they have a possibility or a likelihood of doing in the future.
Foundation of Black Americans, we've always had a culture of resistance. We cultivated a culture of resistance on this land, and we've been resisting ever since we've encountered European domination.
But nothing was really popping in Europe until the transatlantic slave trade, and that's where they amassed a lot of wealth.
One thing that I think is unique about our culture as far as how we resist, how we fight back, is just the environment we were put in from day one. Being only 13% of the population, the white supremacists were very meticulous about keeping that population at a certain amount.
There was never a period when we did not resist the encroachment of the white man.
They have a natural behavior of authority no matter where they go. That's why they'll step up in front of us in the line at the store. We're not important. They don't even see us.
We've never been able to excel. We've never been able to relax. We've never been able to just be, which means that existence is resistance.
It must be something in our DNA, our historical background, to when something doesn't sit right with us, especially spiritually, in our souls and in our spirit, we just say no.
We live in resistance. You know, from the moment we're born, we're in resistance. And it's handed down generation to generation.
And so I think that cultural resistance is actually in our DNA, in our epigenetics, and then it blossoms out into the culture.
So there's almost nothing in America that we do, from song to dance to politics to the way we talk, the way we dress, having coded languages considered to be slang today. Everything about Black American culture is a form of resistance.
Of course, they want to always downplay our contributions to the global tapestry because they continue to act like our number one export in this country is not Black innovation.
Everyone understands that our resistance has been the cornerstone of what foundational Black Americans have always done. We are the life that breathes everything into this nation.
The further back you go, the further Black you go. It's just simple like that, brother.
Thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of the Frontline Black News. I'm your host, Shane Krummer, and we're joined with the other host, Lady Che, and we should be joined here shortly with Shabaka Sankori, Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced, which I'm the co-executive producer and co-host of. And we were just joined with Brother Jermaine out of Shreveport, Louisiana. Hopefully he comes back. And on the season 6, episode 18, part 3 of the Frontline Black News, or part 3, we'll be discussing several topics. The first topic is topics we didn't get to in part 2, and the first topic is happy 73rd C-Day or birthday to Chaka Khan. Chaka Khan. The painful history of Chaka Khan. Childhood trauma, tortured soul. What they didn't tell you. Then we got millions kicked off of healthcare after ACA subsidies expire, costs skyrocket. Then we got the dump as a human shit, and we want to make that perfectly clear. Trump wants $200 billion more for Iran war. Congress pushes back. Finally, then we got the dump again. Orders ICE to airports during shutdown and TSA callouts. Then again, the dump. That's inhuman shit. They don't want to have her clear. Gives Iran 48 hours to reopen Hormuz. The port before. Then we got before passing away at 89. Judy Pace revealed the cruel dark side of 1970s Hollywood. Then we got ADIN punk ass Ross calls Whack No 100 anti-Semitic and says he won't pay Blueface for his boxing match. Then Orozo, I think that's how you say it, Festival exposed what Nigerians didn't tell you. And if we have time, the history of Asians aligning themselves with white extremists. MYRON Gaines X just completely ruined his career by exposing this about him. Ghana confronts transatlantic slavery. Reparations at UN gains global support. Then Unhoused neighbor news, illegal migrant news, and local Denver/Aurora news. And we are based out of East Denver, North Aurora, Colorado. We get the news from a frontline and Black First perspective. We are a part of the New Black Media and also the signal boosters of the New Black Media. We have been around for, count them, 6 seasons now. And we have several platforms that are a part of the Frontline campaign. Frontline Black News is the first one. And we started on blogs before Blog Talk, or after Blog Talk, rather. And the first one, we started back in 2020, 2021. Then we got Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced, which we started on Blog Talk, which is based on the 50th anniversary of the founding of the original Black Panther Party for Self-Defense. And we started on Blog Talk Radio back in 2016 and have been around for 11 seasons now. Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced covers Black experience from the beginning of time until 10 minutes ago. It is also part of the Frontline campaign and has recently, within the last 2 to 3 years, moved from Blog Talk Radio to StreamYard. Please make sure y'all like and share the broadcast, family. Salute, Michael. Thank you for tapping in. Please join us on StreamYard, YouTube, Frontline Black News. The links to all of our channels are in the description, including Frontline Black News. Frontline Black News 2, our backup channel. Make sure y'all sub to that. Just in case it's hard to take Frontline Black News down again. Then we got my personal page, Jesse Parrish, aka Chain Chroma. That's where we stream all the city council meetings like we just did tonight. And the community events. Then we got Lady Chay's secondary channel, Seduction Doll. Make sure y'all sub to that. So she can start going live on that channel. Then we got her main channel, the Revolutionary Agenda. Make sure y'all sub to that and check out her videos. She just did one earlier last week. So make sure y'all check that out. She'll be doing another one sometime this week. And then we got Shabaka's main channel, Janet 1. Make sure y'all sub to that as well. And then we got Jay Militant, our cousin, our lokes throughout the Bay Area. The link to his channel is in the description. What's Cracking TV with Jay Militant? Make sure y'all check him out. And we got our brother Kicced out of the Mile High. Who's like one of the dopest MCs out of Denver. Make sure y'all check him out. Kicced 5100. She should be joining us tonight. Then we got Breeze Omega. Shout out to Breeze Omega, our brother out of VA, Virginia. The link to his channel is also in the description. He just surpassed 1,000 subscribers, so salute to him. And then we got our brother Black Truth United. Oh yeah, he was live earlier too. I tapped in briefly with him. Then we got our brother, the Church of Black Power out of Watts, California. He's now in Houston, Texas. The link to his channel is also in the description. He did a great video with the other day, yesterday. Make sure y'all check that out. And then Black Truth United, Our brother's been on a hiatus, but he did recently just do a video, which we're going to showcase tonight. And he also came up with the B1 Rolodex, which is a modern-day green book for FBA and B1 businesses alike. So make sure you check that out. The link to submit the business is in the description, and the link to the Rolodex itself is in the description. And yours truly is in it for my political work. And then we got the petition for reparations, the change.org petition. Make sure y'all sign that. Make sure y'all sign that. Get that done. And then we got the Kickstarter for Hidden Color 6, which Hidden Color 6 has been, the goal has been met and surpassed. So it should begin production any day now. And it should be dropping sometime this summer. So we'll keep y'all posted on when it drops and what cities it's going to be in. And then if y'all can, please support Lady Chay's GoFundMe. The link to that is in the description. The link to the 103-year-old grandmother who was on the verge of losing her home in Los Angeles of almost 40 years. The link to her GoFundMe is also in the description. And then we got copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowances made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. And I do not own the rights to the music, education, and research. And I do not own the rights to the music. And if you don't understand racism, white supremacy, what it is and how it works, everything else you think you understand will only confuse you in all 9 areas of human activity. And that is economics, education, entertainment, labor, law, politics, religion, sex, and war. And some say health and nutrition. In all 9 or 10 areas of human and people activity. And that was by the late, great Nellie Fuller Jr., Mr. Nellie Fuller Jr., who transitioned exactly a year ago at the age of 95, ProduceJustice.com. And when you are a Black person or captured by any race soldier, you must never fuss, fight, or flee. Comply and defend yourself in court, also by Nellie Fuller Jr., ProduceJustice.com. And last but certainly not least, we got racism, white supremacy. It's conscious and subconscious behavior to maintain white genetic survival to prevent white genetic annihilation. Yeah, I had to get the hell up out of there, Michael. 5 years was more than enough. So those are that was from Dr. Frances Cress Wilson, whose birthday was last week. She would have been 90. She's the one that came up with that quote. And shout out to FBA brother Tariq Nasheed out of Los Angeles, California, who paid for her funeral, along with several others. And she transitioned here in the good old state of Colorado exactly 10 years ago. So RIP to our master teacher, Dr. Frances Cress Wilson. So those are the topics. Make sure y'all hit that like and subscribe button. So I'm going to hop right into it with happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday to ya. Who am I singing happy birthday to? Chaka Khan. Chaka Khan. So we're going to give y'all an update on her history. Quick, let me share my screen. My grandma loved her some Chaka Khan. And Chaka Khan was a Black Panther as well. She was a Black Panther around the same time my grandma was a Black Panther. So salute to her and my grandma.
She was born with a gift, a special gift. Her voice, angelic. Whenever she hit those high notes with her ferocious, soaring vocals, we all got goosebumps. Her voice heals hearts and is medicine to the soul. Over to her beauty, she's a goddess, the queen of all queens, both the young and the old. She's unmatched. Her spirit, demeanor, personality, and mannerisms whenever she was on stage was inconceivable. You could feel she owned the stage with her high alpha energy. She showed us why she owns the title, the Queen of Funk. With success both as a solo artist and as lead vocalist with the funk group Rufus in hits such as Ain't Nobody, I'm Every Woman, I Feel For You, she showed the world why she was special. It is to no surprise that over her career period, she has achieved a total of 7 gold singles, 7 gold albums, and 3 platinum albums. She has been nominated for induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame multiple times, earned a #1 hits on the Billboard Hot 100, just to name a few. Her influence in music is often underrated. You can hear CHAKA in the likes of Yolanda Adams, Beyoncé, among many more. But just as many artists in the golden era, she was a tortured and disturbed soul. A soul that tried to run away from her past, which eventually caught up with her. This is her candid and untold chilling story. Chaka Khan was born Yvette Marie Stevens on March 23, 1953, into an artistic, bohemian household in Chicago, Illinois. The eldest of 5 children born to Charles Stevens and Sandra Coleman, she has described her father as a beatnik. Beatniks were members of a social movement in the 1950s and early 1960s who subscribed to an anti-materialistic lifestyle. They rejected the conformity and consumerism of mainstream American culture and expressed themselves through various forms of art, such as literature, poetry, music, and painting. She was raised in the Hyde Park area, an island in Chicago's rough South Side housing projects. Her sister Yvonne later became a successful musician in her own right, under the name Taka Boom. Her only brother Mark, who formed the funk group Jamaica Boys and was a member of Aurora, also became a successful musician. She has 2 other sisters, Zahiva Stevens and Tammy McCrary. Khan was raised as a Catholic. She attended the elementary school of St. Thomas the Apostle Church in Hyde Park. Her affection for music was linked to her grandmother, who exposed her to jazz during her early years. Khan's fondness for rhythm and blues developed when she was still a young adolescent. At the age of 11, she established a girl group named the Crystalettes, a venture that featured her sister Taka as well. During the late 1960s, Khan participated in several civil rights rallies alongside Connie, her father's second wife, who was a staunch supporter of the movement. It was during this time that she became associated with the Black Panther Party. Her connection to the party began in 1967, when she formed a friendship with Fred Hampton, an activist and native of Chicago who was a fellow member of the party. Although there is a common belief that she adopted the name Chaka while being a part of the Panthers, Khan clarified that her full name, Chaka Adune Adufe Hodari Karifi, was bestowed upon her at the age of 13 by a Yoruba Baba. During her days with the Panthers, she was fearless. Her role was selling the Panther magazines. She was a rebel in school, totally against all the sock hops her school had to offer to keep the natives quiet, which according to them, were slave gatherings. She instead had combat boots on and green khaki pants. She never felt in danger, as to her they were doing the right thing. However, when a gun came into her hands, which she hid in her room, her view about the group changed. Every moment she had that gun, it changed her. She felt physically sick. She then decided to throw it away to have her peace of mind. On top of this, the group marginalized the voices of women. In 1969, she chose to leave the Panthers and decided to discontinue her high school education. She had attended both Calumet High School and Kenwood High School. At age 17, she ran away from home and decided to follow her passion in music. Subsequently, Khan ventured into performing with various small groups in the Chicago vicinity. Her initial involvement was with Cash McCall's group called Life, where she collaborated with her then-boyfriend, Hassan Khan. The two married shortly after she got a record deal and badly needed the marriage for her to be accepted, as at age 17, she was still legally a child, and her mother had refused to sign on her behalf, prompting her to lie she was pregnant. In the same year, Khan was asked to replace Baby Huey of Baby Huey and the Babysitters after Huey's death. Her experience here was short and unsatisfying as the group disbanded a year later. While making rounds at local Chicago music venues in 1972, 19-year-old Khan was discovered by members of the rhythm and blues band, Rufus. She was immediately given lead vocalist role, replacing her good friend Paulette McWilliams, who had recently left the group, citing exhaustion from touring and wished to spend more time with her family. With Khan on vocals, Rufus were an immediate sensation. She had both a hell of a voice and a precocious, raw stage presence. Distinguished by Khan's radiant vocals and energizing stage presence, the band released 6 gold or platinum albums through the end of the decade and scored 3 top 10 pop hits, including Tell Me Something Good, which won a Grammy for Best R&B Performance. Reflective of Khan's growing stature, the band's billing constantly evolved during these years. Simply Rufus at first, they became Rufus featuring Chaka Khan, and then Rufus and Chaka Khan, and ultimately Rufus and Chaka. At some point in 1978, possibly the week in July when Quincy Jones topped the R&B chart with Stuff Like That, featuring lead vocals from Chaka Khan and Ashford and Simpson, it became evident that Rufus could no longer contain their singer and co-songwriter. Khan had a pile of additional extracurricular credits on recordings by the likes of Stephen Bishop, Chicago, The Gap Band, Joni Mitchell, and Lenny White. But they were comparatively modest. Stuff Like That, combined with the ever-brightening spotlight in Rufus, left her truly poised for a breakout. Khan signed a deal with Warner Bros. Ops, and that October stepped out with Chaka. Establishing a lengthy partnership with producer and arranger Arif Mardin, the album featured I'm Every Woman, an elegant disco anthem written by Ashford and Simpson that topped the R&B chart and reached number 21 on the Hot 100. Instant solo success notwithstanding, Khan rejoined Rufus for the Quincy Jones-produced Master Jam, the band's 4th and final album to top the R&B chart. She would thereafter go on to conquer the world as a solo artist. The rest is history. While there was no doubt about her talent, Chaka's life has been marred with scandals, problems, and the not-so-good headlines. While many have come up with all sorts of theories about why she acted this way, this is what we believe to be the reason behind all these. You see, Chaka was a daddy's girl, and when their dad abandoned them, she felt vulnerable, helpless, and alone. Unknown to her, this was the beginning of her traumatic experience, in relationships, career, and personal life. She embarked on a journey to run away from her shadow. That's when she dropped out of school, left the Black Panther group, and ran away from home. To add on this, she was in her teens, and the rebellious trait was at its highest. The once conservative girl had adapted a don't-care attitude, wearing revealing clothes and not taking advice from anyone, not to mention being vulgar. Desperate to kickstart her career in music, rumors say she would use her beauty and charm to get her into the band groups. In the process, she became promiscuous. It is how she met her first husband, Hassan Khan. Their marriage is believed to have ended after sources say Chaka had something going on with Rasan Morris while still married, and even got a daughter together, Indira Malini, in 1973. She would then marry her second husband, Richard Holland, in 1976, with whom they would have a son, Damian Holland, in 1979. Their marriage came at the wrong time. Chaka was at the top of her career with Rufus, and what really made her pull crowds was her dressing. She would appear on stage with all the legs, bottoms, and even breasts exposed. Holland, being the jealous type, wanted her to tone down her sexy stage image, but she refused. On top of this, Andre Fischer, a fellow Rufus member, was jealous of Chaka's newlywed, and since Richard used to come by when the group were in practice, he decided to start a fight, beating Richard up. Word on the street say Andre had had a thing with Chaka before and was acting out of natural jealousy. Chaka and Damian would divorce in 1980. In all her relationships, she felt it was a hassle as all her partners expected her to be what she was when on stage, the wild one, while most of the time she went back home exhausted and fatigued. Fame with Rufus came at a cost, and the cost, peace of mind. As a highly combustible band, on top of being overprotective of CHAKA, their diamond, there were a million things happening behind the scenes. If it was not the never-ending lineup changes, then it was the intense fistfights in the studio, or even issues with the managers and the record labels. They were surrounded by rip-off artists. The record label even started billing the band differently, portraying CHAKA as an independent artist featuring Rufus from the previous Ask Rufus. Another problem was her drug use. At the beginning, CHAKA was known to be using only recreational drugs and had self-discipline adopted from his ways as a Black Panther. But as time went by and she became a household name, becoming friends with the likes of Rick James, Natalie Cole, and Whitney Houston, things escalated quickly. She advanced to heroin, cocaine, and alcohol, which would in turn make her an addict, unable to regulate herself. She would also, together with her sister Taka Boom and Prince, started using fentanyl, a prescription drug which they became dependent on. When Prince died from a fentanyl overdose on 21st April 2016, it served as a wake-up call for CHAKA and her sister. The two entered an addiction rehabilitation and aftercare program to help them overcome their addiction. While many might say she brought all these to herself, we must all point out that just like most of the artists back then, fame came at a very young age and they didn't know how to handle it. Peer pressure was at its max, with many doing all sorts of things in the fear of missing out. On top of this, just like the likes of Michael Jackson and Prince, CHAKA, realizing the so-called friends and managers were just out there to feed off her and didn't have her best interests at heart. She felt betrayed, and the only remedy was to hide in the drugs. To make it worse, being a female in the industry, and not just any female, a very beautiful one, voluptuous with exotic features, she was a target of many predators. If it wasn't someone trying to mint money off her, then there was someone always eyeing to have his way with her. Her self-destructive behaviors were a scream of help. Maybe if her dad had not left them, or she had made peace with her past, early enough things would be different maybe. These days, she is a teetotal vegan, which she adopted in a bid to lose weight and combat high blood pressure and type 2 diabetes. She's been sober since 2005, with her only vice being cigarettes. She currently spends much of her time raising her granddaughter. Despite all the things happening behind the scenes, she still managed to give us the best version of herself. We owe it to her. Let's celebrate her more while she's with us. Let's show her that she still has genuine friends, family, and fans around her. For those who have been fortunate enough to attend one of her concerts, how was it? Also, those that didn't, what's your favorite song from her catalog? Do tell us in the comments section below. Let's keep.
Oh, she has so many hits. I can't just name one. But yeah, happy birthday to Miss Chaka Khan. She just turned 73. Greetings, Jermaine, from the Mile High Income and Illegal Migrant Flooded City.
Hey, how you doing? How you doing?
I am fine, brother. I am fine.
Okay.
What are your Chaka Khan?
Oh yeah, man. Her music has been just amazing over the years. I think over 40 years of music she's had.
Yeah. She was like, my grandma used to love her music. My grandma was her too around the same time she was.
Yeah, Sade was real big.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody even listens to her anymore.
Sound kind of muffled. Are you on the headset or?
Yeah. I'm on a headset.
Okay. All right. Shout out to the viewers. Lady Che, what are your thoughts on Chaka Khan?
I like to relax. I like to wear a long while like mine.
Yeah.
And for a while like mine. There's nothing to change.
She got that Aries energy too.
Yeah. Wow. It's short day. wild ass energy. I like I was trying to snap. I like the way she sang.
Yeah.
You know, so she was in the lineup of the women I like to sing out there.
Yeah.
You know, I got older and I finally looking into Black nationalism and whatnot. I found she was an actor.
Yeah.
I really like her.
Yeah.
So she's in the lineup, you know.
Yep. Yeah, Lady J just woke up from her slumber. Could you hear her, Jermaine?
Huh?
Could you hear Lady Che?
Oh yeah, I can hear it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so happy born day to Miss Shaka Khan. She turned 73 today.
Wow. Everybody's getting up there.
What I said I was gonna make. The potato, the sausage, and the onions. All right, so go on mute, Jermaine, because you got breakfast. Come on to the next topic, and that is millions kicked off of healthcare after ACA subsidies expire. So Lisa gonna give us an update on that.
Shalom, family. Good to see everyone here. Hope you're doing well. And just a quick announcement. Don't forget to pick up your 12 Tribes on Earth hair products for 40% off until the 27th. All right. So healthcare has been a major problem. It wasn't before until Donald Trump took office and decided to change things. You know, he did not like Obamacare that a lot of people were on. And if it wasn't for Obamacare, there would have been a lot more people uninsured in this country. And it's the fact that Obama's name was on it. That's why Trump wanted to come in and destroy it. And that's exactly what he did. So something that some people paid very little to no money for is now getting bills triple and quadruple the amount they were paying before. Because, see, these rich people can never be satisfied. They want you to keep paying them, and it's never enough. They never can be satisfied, and they don't care what it does to you financially. Or if you may have someone in your family that have medical challenges and they depended on that to get their medical care, they don't care. A lot of people, since Donald Trump took office, millions and millions and millions of people have been kicked off of health care. And the ones that still got it, they probably went from paying $100, $200 a month, and now they're paying well over $1,000 per month for their health care. So virtually everything that was set up has been dismantled by Donald Trump. I know no one is shocked about that. The man has done nothing since coming to office but try to destroy this place. And look, his people are just sitting there letting him do it. You don't see one living soul trying to stop Donald Trump. Not one living soul. From the Republican side or the Democrat side, not one person is trying to stop him. So I know y'all like to play victim all the time. You're not victims to us at all. You never have been. You are a victim to your own white supremacist system that is now eating you alive. This is why I come across so many videos of y'all crying. I make this per year and I can't pay my bills. I can't make it anymore. If I pay my bills, I can't afford to buy food. I can't feed my kids. See, you're going through it now. You're going through it big time. But this is the system y'all wanted. You wanted to pay for health care because if it was free, Black people would get it. See, all that racism is coming back to haunt you. That's why it's very difficult for me to feel sorry for you or your circumstances. This is the way you wanted it. You just didn't think it was going to come and visit you. And it has. So I'm going to tell you what you have told us for many decades. Pull yourself up by the bootstraps. Stop being a victim. Okay, so that back at you. So now I'm saying those things to you. You said it to us, I'm saying it to you. See, you set the system up for us to always fail in it. You never thought you would be failing in the system, but you are. You are failing, and you are failing badly. Badly. I am seeing so many people online crying over jobs they can't get. And yeah, it is unusual for white people not to be able to get jobs. Usually y'all had it all rigged up. Even if you didn't have no skill in the job you were applying for, you would still get that job. It was so rigged up. Now I come across videos where y'all are unemployed for 2 and 3 years, put in thousands of applications and can't get one phone call. That happened to my people all the time. We are always the first fired, the last hired. And, if there's plenty of your people to hire, then they will overlook us each and every time. So now you're going through it. Before, white college students would have jobs before they would even graduate. Now you see graduates that are online, they got their degree and can't get a job. It was never like that for y'all before. They would make sure the white college students would get the job so they could get experience, and they would deny our people that had the same degree, that you would deny them, and they would have to always get jobs that were outside of their field of study. You did that to us all the time, but you made sure the white student got out of college and would gain all kinds of work experience right out of college. And now those same students can't find a job. And you'll see video after video of them applying for hundreds of jobs and can't get one call back. Or if they do get that one interview, they don't get the job. They'll get passed up for another person. But like I said, y'all set the system up. We are not responsible for anything that's going on now. We did not set this system up so that we could always come out on top. First of all, I knew one day that would end because it's unrealistic. It's unrealistic for one group of people to always win. It's unrealistic. So you had to do a lot of sabotaging and string pulling in the background to make it work this far. Now, y'all ain't even trying to help each other like you used to. You're still helping each other, but not like you used to. So now many are falling by the wayside. They are crying because they have to skip meals. If they don't do that, they won't be able to pay their mortgage, or they have fallen behind on car payments. And see, those were things y'all were always okay with because, you know, because of racism, you always got paid the bigger salary for the same job. And they always underpaid us. We have lived a lifetime of being underpaid for everything. And you have lived a lifetime of being overpaid and overcompensated for everything. I remember when I was working, it was this white woman in my office. She was engaged and she was about to get married. Do you know everybody in the office got a 3 to 5% raise, right? Increase. You know what this white boss did for this white woman? She gave her a 25% raise because she was getting married and would need the money. Now, how many times have any bosses did that for any of us that got engaged and were getting married? How many bosses did that for us? How many bosses do that for any of us? None. But this white woman, that was how she justified it. Well, I gave her the raise because she's getting married, and a 25% raise. And trust me, y'all, this woman was not outperforming anybody in the office. She was doing average work. She was not even a top performer in our group. Okay, she was at best average, but she got a 25% raise because she was getting married. So this white supervisor felt that was justifiable to give her a 25% raise. But see, that's what I'm talking about, y'all. It's always been these disparities. And they know they're cheating us, but it was the thing to do. But now look at them now, y'all. Many of them can't get a job, and it doesn't matter what their experience is. They can't land a job now. They can't. So let me go ahead and share my screen so we can get started. Give me a 1 if you can see my screen. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, just like that, 8 million people just lost their healthcare insurance. Not only that, healthcare companies can now deny or raise the price of your insurance because there's going to be less protections if you have a health condition or a pre-existing condition. Just like that, senators that were implicated in the January 6 riots will be able to get $1 million. And all it took was starving the people and using us as pawns to get those things. I had to say it, guys. These guys are on the bankroll of healthcare corporations. They are literally funded by them, and their stock portfolio probably has Pfizer, Humana, United Healthcare, Aetna. This is terrible. And I love you guys, whether you're left or right. But as of right now, a lot of people are about to suffer. This is the reality of politics, because one vote could cause millions of people to die. And out of 8 million people losing their coverage, they now have to choose between paying for their lights to stay on and having food, or paying $1,500 for their premium for their family household. Subsidies were important. I think it's good that we subsidize these things for the people.
More than half of ACA marketplace enrollees say they are cutting basic household spending just to afford healthcare in 2026. So this is what happens when policy decisions hit real kitchens and real budgets. A new KFS survey found that 55% of returning ACA enrollees are already cutting back or planning to cut back on food and essentials just to keep up with healthcare costs. And it gets worse. About 43% say they are picking up extra work or more hours just to afford coverage. Half of those surveyed said their healthcare costs are a lot higher this year. So from a nursing perspective, this is where things start to unravel fast. When patients are forced to stretch every dollar, they are not just budgeting, they are rationing care. They skip medications, delay follow-ups, avoid labs, and try to push through symptoms until they physically cannot anymore. Then they show up sicker, more complex, and harder to treat. This spike is happening after enhanced ACA subsidies expired and premiums jumped significantly for 2026. So people are paying more, getting less breathing room, and still feeling like they cannot actually use their insurance. And emotionally, people are not okay with this. The majority reported feeling worried, angry, and confused, trying to choose coverage, and 78% said Congress got it wrong by letting those subsidies expire. So at some point, we have to be honest about this. If your insurance forces you to cut food to afford it, that is not real access to care. That is financial survival dressed up as coverage.
It's official. It looks like Affordable Care Act subsidies are going to expire at the end of the year, and there really is no effort to stop that. Why? Because the House Republican caucus released their plan overnight to fix healthcare. But the Republican Party plan to fix healthcare does not include an extension of Affordable Care Act subsidies. There is no appetite in the House Republican caucus to extend these subsidies that will ensure premiums stay low. The President of the United States is lashing out reporters for even asking. And Mike Johnson himself doesn't really have a grip over his own caucus this morning, as more and more Republican public defections are occurring. All the while, Donald Trump is facing mounting pressure right now as a majority of Americans, including a majority of Republicans, believe that he knew about Jeffrey Epstein's crimes before they were revealed to the public. Make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Support my work by subscribing to my Substack.
This is a crisis they created. They created a healthcare crisis with their big ugly bill, slashing Medicaid, and now refusing to extend the tax credit means that premiums are skyrocketing for millions of Americans. And frankly, costs are going to go up for everyone. When we have more uncompensated care, that raises costs for everyone across the country. And why? For no reason. All because they wanted to give their tax breaks. They have no plan. They've always talked about repealing things, but they've never had a plan of what they would do going forward. And even now, as I'm in Washington, D.C., they don't have a healthcare plan, and they're fighting with each other over how to move forward.
So have you ever avoided seeking healthcare or treatment or medication or any sort of health service because of the cost and you're worried about having to pay?
Yes. I have experienced that a lot with patients that come in with pneumonia but have been at home for a matter of 5 days.
Shit, doctor.
And came in when it got worse and had to be admitted to the hospital. And we're like, why didn't you come in sooner? Well, I couldn't afford this bill, so I was trying to take care of myself at home first.
Even just at school, I know people who, let's say, don't have the student health insurance plan, won't go get, let's say, like contraception or things like that because they don't really want to pay for it out of pocket.
I found out later that I had sprained my ACL
I couldn't move, but I also didn't want to call an ambulance.
Whoa, no, yeah.
So what'd you do?
I got on my friend's back.
But my sister, she has
Are you
a lot of
serious?
allergies, so like instead of like using the ambulance for her like anaphylactic allergies, we had to drive her, which is very scary because you don't know about like traffic or anything. You don't have the same privileges as an ambulance on the road.
It's over. It passed. And this is what that means for so many Americans. Billions of dollars cut from Medicaid, which affects millions of Americans. The poorest of the poor people in this country are going to lose their health care, be unable to feed themselves, and this is what people wanted. And the richest people in this country will get a tax cut. So if you're not upset, then I'm confused. If this is what you want, I think you need to take a much deeper look at who you are and what you stand for, because this is devastating to so many people in this country. You are often one step away from needing assistance. One step.
Remember those Affordable Care Act subsidies? Yeah, it looks like they're dead, meaning they're not coming back. And things could get worse for the entire healthcare system as a result. That could mean for you too. So before I get into all of that, think back just a few months. Those subsidies were the cause of the longest government shutdown in history, the same ones that kept healthcare costs down for about 22 million Americans. Those subsidies expired at the end of 2025. And as soon as January hit, because those subsidies were gone, millions of Americans saw their health insurance premiums skyrocket 50, 100, 200%. The Kaiser Family Foundation, which tracks healthcare data and has done so for years, says the average increased cost for an ACA healthcare plan was 114%. Of course, people were pissed. Some Senate and House Republicans, especially those who are vulnerable in the upcoming midterm elections, they vowed to work with Democrats to find a bipartisan solution and bring those subsidies back in some way. But here we are more than a month later, and just last week, those Republicans said it looks like the talks with Democrats on these subsidies are dead. Now, there's a lot of this finger pointing at each other going on.
United Healthcare, the biggest player in the game, is in the news again. They are set to remove almost 1 million seniors from their healthcare plan. So many seniors will be left without a Medicare Advantage plan. And while the company calls it strategic planning, this is putting many seniors at risk. We're talking about seniors who are on medications and who see specialists, and those who have their care routine. It's a major healthcare displacement. Though we are unsure how this will play out, our shift will be keeping an eye on all the changes pertaining to this story. Follow Off Shift as we follow this story.
You want to see something that should make every American furious? Right now, millions of Americans are being told healthcare is just too expensive for the government to help with. We're told the budget is tight, and we're told the country can't afford it. We're told sacrifices have to be made. And those sacrifices are landing directly on regular people. Because in the most recent federal budget package, the one supporters called the Big Beautiful Bill, Congress allowed the expanded healthcare subsidies from the Affordable Care Act to expire. Those subsidies were originally expanded during the pandemic to help Americans afford their health insurance. But when the new budget passed, they were not renewed. So the financial help that millions of people were relying on just disappeared. And the results have been brutal. People who are paying around $888 a year for insurance are now paying closer to $1,904 a year. That's more than double. Some middle-class families are seeing their monthly premiums jump from $921 a month to nearly $2,000 a month. And remember, that's just the premium. The average deductible on marketplace plans is about $2,789 a year, which means even after paying thousands just to have insurance, you may still have to spend thousands more before the insurance company even starts helping you. That's why people say they're insured but still can't afford to go to the doctor. And because of these rising costs, experts are estimating up to 4.8 million Americans could lose their health insurance altogether. So What does the government save from all of this? About $30 to $35 billion a year. Over 10 years, that's roughly $300 billion in federal saving. That's the argument. The government saves money. But now let's compare that to something else happening right now, the war with Iran. Early estimates suggest the United States could be spending around $1 billion every single day on military operations. $1 billion a day. That means in just 1 month, the war could have cost around $30 billion, which is roughly the same amount of money that government saves in an entire year by making Americans pay more for healthcare. Let that sink in. 1 year of higher premiums, 1 year of people losing on coverage, 1 year of families struggling to afford doctor visits equals about 1 month of war spending. And if conflict like this lasted for a full year, at that pace, it could cost over $365 billion. That's more than 10 years of those healthcare savings. So when politicians say the country can't afford to help Americans pay for healthcare, remember this: the issue in America has almost never been whether the money exists. The real question is who the government decides it's for.
Always remember, they got plenty of money for a war. And as far as him saying $1 billion a day, I read it's $2 billion per day for this war with Iran. $2 billion per day is what I read. So you're talking about $60 billion a month wasted on a war. This is what America does with its money. It would rather pay for a war than help its citizens. Well, they never helped us anyway. I mean, we're used to that. But see, them folks, they're not used to that. They are used to having that lifeline from the government. They are used to having preferential treatment over everyone else. And all of that is gone. That's why I'm saying, because a lot of y'all try to play victim, especially if you don't like the stuff that we say. You're not a victim to us. You're a victim to the government that you set up. You just never thought it was going to come back and bite you in the ass. But it is. So y'all set this whole system up. You were the ones that said you would rather pay for health care than get it for free because Black people would get it. Mm-hmm. All right, so now dig in your pocket and pay. Right. Now y'all crying because of the cost. Oh, I was paying $900 a year. I went from paying $900 to $3,000. Well, you said you would rather pay. Right. Aren't y'all the ones that said you'd rather pay? All right, then pay the damn bill. Right. Pay it. Shut up and pay it. Nobody want to hear your whining now. Shut up and pay the damn bill. This is the way you wanted it. Right. So, y'all, they are hurting. They are hurting in ways they never hurt before in this country. I have seen so many of them crashing out on videos. It's not even funny. And I mean, they have full crash outs, full meltdowns, crying all over the video. And some even go as far as setting up a GoFundMe because they can't pay their bills and they need help. So they're setting up a GoFundMe so their supporters can send them some money for help. I said, yeah, life sure has changed. And you know what, y'all? It didn't even take long for it to change. If you notice, the decline of America has been pretty swift. And now I'm seeing videos on America has fallen. America has fallen. This war has taken America completely down. Interesting. And at the same time, many would say karma, but no, there's no karma. It's the Most High. And you can definitely see everything is switching. Everything is switching. So, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and conclude. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Lisa. Yeah, that's horrible. All these people about to lose their health care subsidies. What up, Cool Keezy? Keezy in the building. Try to fast salute. Just finished listening to Lisa cover the millions of Americans losing their health subsidies. America has been declining before Trump became president in 2017. 8 years later, he is accelerating the fall of America's broken healthcare financial system. Yeah, Michael. Very true. Very true. What are your thoughts, Lady Che? The last topic.
What was it about?
It was about the healthcare.
Oh, about them cutting it off? Oh, you knew it was going to happen. I mean, if you listen to Trump, none of this is probably big, but you just got to continue to do for self. And then for the long haul. You know, he's going to wrangle him in. Democrats are going to fight, so what else is there to expect?
Say that?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, so this is crazy. We'll keep y'all updated on this. And then the dump as a human shit wants $200 billion more for Iran war. And wow, the Congress pushes back. It's about damn time. So at least we're gonna give us an update on that as well.
Shalom, family. Good to see you all here. Hope you're doing well. Boy, I got all caught up in what happened over the last 24 hours. I don't know if you heard, but Israel struck Iran's nuclear site. Iran, hours later, struck Dimona and Arad, which are two Israeli sites. And the most devastating thing, they're saying their defense system must not be working because both of the missiles made it through. So it didn't do a direct hit on Dimona, but near it. And Arad, they hit that. And so, you know, one thing, Iran is turning out to have a lot of boldness in their attack. So they're not scared to go hard at Israel, and they're showing it. So it's nothing they can do, you know. All they can do is when Israel strike back, and they're doing it. And man, they are bringing it. They are bringing it. Unlike any other country I have ever seen go after Israel. I think by far Iran is the strongest nation that has ever come after Israel, and they got the same might and firepower as the U.S. and Israel. Now you got to check it out because it's a 2-on-1 fight, and the one is winning, which is crazy. So we're going to talk about Donald Trump wants $200 billion so that he can continue the war with Iran. And you know who's paying that $200 billion? Us. The public is paying that $200 billion. So a lot of people expressed how they feel about this war and spending that kind of money, you know? And some people like, I thought we didn't have money. No, the only time the U.S. don't have money is for our reparations. Y'all seem to have money for anything else. But as soon as we say, where is our reparations? There's all of a sudden no money, or the country's going to go bankrupt. You don't seem to be going bankrupt fighting a war. That's really interesting, right? Nobody is talking about the country going bankrupt when a war is fought. Nobody was talking about bankruptcy when Joe Biden was shoving all the weapons and money over to Ukraine. Nobody was talking about going broke. But as soon as we say reparations, all of a sudden there's something wrong. There's not enough money. How are we going to know who should be getting the money? Well, you're not confused any other time. Okay, when it comes down to money for anything else, you don't seem to be confused about a damn thing. The immigrants got money. Yeah, got money for everybody except for us. So Congress, both the left and right, had an issue with Donald Trump coming to get this money to continue the war that he should never have started. They shouldn't give Donald Trump one red cent for getting everybody into this thing. All right, y'all, let me go ahead and... Okay, first, before I do that, I just wanted to remind you that the Hebrew Spring Sale, New Year's, is on. And don't forget, it's 40% off if it does not deduct the amount, because somebody reached out to me in Etsy. All you got to do where it says coupon code, just type in the Most High New Year 26. Type it in as one word. Or if you don't want to type it in, copy and paste it in. And you should get the discount at checkout. All right. Okay. Okay, please give me a 1 if you can see my screen. Thank you.
$100 billion is what Donald Trump and this trash administration is requesting from the American people to continue this unlawful, unjustified war against Iran. Said in front of the Prime Minister of Japan that it is a small cost to pay. That gas pump, where gas is soon to be $5 a gallon, ain't a small cost. The fact that the American people lost billions of dollars for Medicaid and Medicare is not a small cost. The fact that American lives are being lost in this unjustified war is not a small cost. The fact that this president was willing to allow people to starve during the first government shutdown is not a small cost. And his unwillingness to fund SNAP benefits, all because he was trying to save the tax people money. But you want $200 billion to put more of American lives at risk for this unjustified war that's being fought on Israel's behalf. This is the type of hocus pocus nonsense that I be talking about. This is the type of shit that we mean when we say elections have consequences. And I don't give a rat's ass what anybody says. If Kamala was sitting in that White House right now, we wouldn't be dealing with this shit.
Back here in the U.S., the Pentagon is now preparing to ask Congress for $200 billion to keep funding the war in Iran. The administration already saying the first week cost $11 billion alone, more than $1 billion a day. Some lawmakers asking tonight, if the president now says this is going to end soon, why are you asking for $200 billion more from taxpayers? And the moment today, President Trump and Japan's prime minister. The president was asked why he didn't tell U.S. allies before attacking Iran. He jokingly brought up Pearl Harbor. Here's Mary Bruce.
Tonight, the Pentagon preparing to ask Congress for an additional $200 billion to fund the war in Iran. A massive number Secretary Pete Hegseth says might not even be final.
I think that number could move, obviously. It takes money to kill bad guys.
The request comes 3 weeks into the war. The Pentagon says the first week alone cost more than $11 billion. President Trump has said it will end soon. So today, reporters asking why he needs so much more money for this fight.
The war is almost over. Why is the Pentagon going to ask Congress for an additional $200 billion?
Well, we're asking for a lot of reasons beyond even what we're talking about in Iran. This is a very volatile world.
On Capitol Hill, the $200 billion request catching many members of Congress off guard. The president launched this war without seeking their approval. Now lawmakers from both parties demanding details before they write that check.
They need to come clean with the American people before they ask for $200 billion.
The president didn't consult American allies before going to war either. Today, as Trump welcomed Japan's prime minister to the Oval Office, a Japanese reporter asking why Japan wasn't given a heads up. Trump's response shocking the prime minister as he invoked Japan's attack on Pearl Harbor.
Why didn't you tell U.S. allies in Europe and Asia, like Japan, about the war before attacking Iran? So we are very confused about Japanese citizens.
Well, one thing you don't want to signal too much. You know, when we go in, we went in very hard, and we didn't tell anybody about it because we wanted surprise. Who knows better about surprise than Japan? Okay? Why didn't you tell me about Pearl Harbor? Okay? Right? You know, he's asking me, do you believe in surprise? I think much more so than us.
The Japanese prime minister sitting there watching as the president spoke.
Because of that.
And again, David, the president asking for that additional $200 billion. It is a huge request, and the war already costing over $11 billion in just the first week. David, that's more than $1 billion a day.
Mary Bruce tonight. Mary, thank you.
Wait. I thought.
First of all, that was stupid. She probably wasn't even alive during Pearl Harbor because she doesn't look like somebody in her 70s. I mean, this woman, she probably might be in her 50s, possibly 60s. She probably wasn't even alive during Pearl Harbor. What a dumb comeback. You tell me about Pearl Harbor. So that's your comeback for not telling the allies that you were going to bomb Iran? Why didn't you tell me about Pearl Harbor? So you can tell by the expression on her face. I mean, to me, she came very close to calling them dumb. I would have done it. But hey, it is Donald Trump, you know, and they think they got high IQs, y'all. Seriously. Let's go on.
Thought we were broke. We didn't have money for food stamps or for health care or to fix the roads. We needed tariffs. We're broke. Now they want $200 billion for a war that should have never happened. Thanks, MAGA.
So the Pentagon seeks $200 billion of our tax dollars to fund a war of choice. $200 billion to fund a war of choice. So, you know, Pete Hegseth, his commentary is always so interesting. Obviously, it takes money to unalive bad guys. As far as the $200 billion, I think that number could move. Wow. we could be funding other things in our country, right? But they're requesting your hard tax dollars, my hard tax dollars, to fund a war of choice. They want to ask for $200 billion to fund this war in Iran. That it is a war of choice. That's all. It's more. 200 billion.
Trump says today that we're doing so well against Iran that he's ready to wind it down. Donald Trump, if you're ready to wind it down and we've won everything, why are you asking for $200 billion more? Donald, what? You're asking for $200 billion more, but you said you're winding it down. You're ready to. Why are we sending Patriot missiles and THAAD missile systems from South Korea over to different parts of the Middle East, Donald Trump, if we're winding it down? Donald Trump, if we are winding it down, why are we still having to defend against the drones and the missiles coming out of Iran? Why are the oil facilities throughout the Middle East still being